Hey guys, part two of this very, very short, and almost kind of, I guess, like micro lessons, kind of like speed dating for learning business. So this is number two, lesson number two in the kind of how to sell to wholesale, how to sell to retail. And I put those two together because it's practically the same format that you use to do it. Retail is a lot longer. The process takes a lot longer. You have to go through a lot more hoops. You have to go down the channels a lot longer. They make the decisions a long way in advance. So, don't expect miracles overnight. If you get any responses, just be polite, follow up, and keep following up with them. Don't be pushy. Anyway, getting a little bit off subject, getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Just know that these things take time to develop. But it is worthwhile when they do, because it only takes a few of these clients to really change your business. So, what we're going to talk about today is what we talked about yesterday was planning, and planning for success in terms of setting your goals of what you want to achieve. I have the road to 100 clients. I want 100 clients on average spending $5,000 a month with me. And that's what my road is. Your road is going to be different, but that was yesterday. If you haven't watched that video, go search it out. Have a look back through the emails. Find that video first, because that's important to set those goals. Okay, number two, wholesale. Wholesale and retail, you are not going to be able to run and sell to as an individual. You can get away with that for a little while when you're selling direct to consumer. You can kind of do just a sole trader thing until your business gets big enough to require you to file for things. You are not going to be able to do that if you're trying to sell to wholesale and retail. They will not entertain the fact of trying to deal with just a sole trader, which means you're going to have an entity of some sort, a business entity of some sort. Now that could be just an officially formed sole trader company. That's probably not ideal, but it would get you at least registered. So you're going to have registration licenses and all that kind of stuff with your state. Better is an LLC, so that you as an individual are separate from the LLC legally. So that is probably my suggestion to do, and you can get LLC. Get my teeth in today. You can get LLCs formed very, very cheaply. You can do it online in any state. It's easier if you're a US citizen. I'm not going to speak for overseas, but don't let it think this is US only. This is worldwide. You can do this anywhere. You can even be an overseas company supplying US wholesalers. You just tell them that your supply chain is situated in the US. So don't let it slow you down or disrupt you if you're not in the US. Number one, you can obviously sell to local wholesalers and local retailers where the market may be less served than it is here in the US. Or alternatively, you can definitely be an overseas corporation selling to a wholesaler here in the US. It's going to be a little bit harder, a couple more hoops to jump through. In terms of the relationship between the wholesaler and yourself, but not insurmountable in any way. So that's number one. You are going to have to form an entity to do that. If you just go online and search for forming LLCs, you will be inundated with offers of forming LLCs for, whatever, 50, I think it's about $50 or $90 or something you can get it done for. Really, really cheaply. You can get this done for. Not a problem at all. Once you have an LLC document, you can go and get yourself an official business bank account. And you're going to want that as well, because you're going to want to have funds flowing into that business bank account because it gives you legitimacy. Okay? So those are the two things that you're going to need and want. If you haven't got an LLC, go and do it. In fact, why don't we just have a look right now online and see what we can find in terms of doing this right now. And you can form it in your own state. You can form it in any other state. Other states, if you're not a resident in that state, may have certain requirements, just so you know. Okay, let me just open up a Google page here. Go over here. Okay, so I'm just going to type in there, forming, and it comes right at the top. Forming an LLC, Maine is top, but forming an LLC, just general. And all of these ones at the top are going to be your ads. So I'm just going to click the first few and see what they say. Here you go. I mean, zero cost LLC formation. I don't know what that's about, but let's have a look. Zero cost LLC formation here. It's obviously geolocating me here to find me in Maine. Yeah, most of these things are in Maine. Okay, so let's just have a look at those two that we brought up. Yeah, so LegalZoom, form my LLC for free. You get your articles of incorporation, your name check service, digital welcome packet, and customizable. They'll even give you a website by Wix. You know, give you some legitimacy. That's going to be the third thing you're going to want to have is like a corporate website. And right here, they're giving it to you. I should have gotten a referral link for this. But yeah, that looks pretty darn good. There's going to be state filing fees. They're going to be standard. What do you get with the Pro package here? Oh, it gives you an operating agreement. Gives you an EIN to file taxes. You can actually do that yourself without any charge. Just go to the IRS and ask for an EIN number. It's just a form you fill in. That in my mind is not worth the money. This one might be worth more because you get hands-on guidance. But hell, all you need is an LLC. Doesn't need to be anything fancy. Okay, so why not start with the basic one? You can always upgrade later. So that one's a zero cost one. Yeah, here, they're all zero cost. It seems like they're all zero cost. They're trying to get your business. So I'd form an LLC. That's the first thing I would do. Or a limited company if you're in the UK or if you're elsewhere. Whatever that version of that kind of corporation is. Form it in your company, in your country rather. Okay, once you've got that, you can open a bank account. Okay, once you've got a bank account, you're kind of ready to go. The only other thing that you're going to need before you start marketing is maybe you want to have a corporate logo made for your company, and think about the name of what you want to call that company. You know, you could be, I'm John Botel. Hi, you know me. I might want to call myself, you know, JB Herbal's JB Herbal Supply or JB Nutrition LLC. But make it very distinct for you. It doesn't have to be named after you, but make it not sound like you're selling a specific brand, unless that's what you want to do. If you have, I don't know, weightdestroyer.com, you know, maybe you want to go to Weight Destroyer LLC and try to sell it as the brand to Wholesale. That's also an option. So have a little think about that. There's not a right way or a wrong way to think about that. You can just be a supplier and just say that you are, you know, these are the brands you represent under JB Nutrition, for example, and we'd like to bring them into Wholesale. Or retail indeed. So have a think about the name. You probably want a corporate logo. You can use your creative credits in the Tiny Brander account for this kind of thing. That's absolutely fine. We'll build you a corporate logo. Once you have that, you're ready to create your invoice, your pro forma invoice. Now, what I suggest for Wholesale, because you're going to want to have this ready in advance, because you can use this for estimates and for actual invoicing. Okay, here's one I made earlier. So you would have your corporate logo, letterhead, and address at the top here. Okay, and this is the basic layout I've used for 2 decades, and it's worked very well for me. Just have to tell them it's an invoice. You're going to have to create an invoice number flow, so and keep them in a record so that you know which is the next invoice in line. Of course, you can use online software to do this. I actually still do this all old school offline. I did have an online system for a while. Didn't like it, I'll be honest. I like the old school style of just keeping them all in a folder on my computer, and then each new invoice I create, I just duplicate and give it the next number. Of course, this can all be done online now. But this is the layout that I follow for all my invoices. Invoice number, invoice date, who it's being invoiced to, Over here on the right is who we're going to ship it to. And then the items that they're going to be ordering, the description of those items, the number of quantity of pieces of those items, how much you're going to sell it for in US dollars. Now the tax, unless you're selling within your state, within your country, the tax for most part is going to be 0. If you're in UK and selling to UK, it's going to be 20%. Those are the only two that I know of. You know, if you are selling in state to somebody else in your state, you'd have to put the local state tax rate in there and the tax percentage, whatever that would be there. I'm going to give you this anyway as a Word document. You can use this or not use it, or just you know, take it and crib what you want from it. I always like to put my bank account name, number, and routing number, and the bank address on the invoice, because a lot of people are going to pay by a wire transfer. Some people will pay by check. Some people want to pay it on a credit card. Make sure you give them all the options to pay you. And at the bottom of the invoice, you want to have this statement: goods covered by this invoice remain the property of, this is where you insert your company name. So for me, it will be goods covered by this invoice remain the property of Tiny Brander LLC until payment is received in full and all checks cleared. Oh, I still have the English spelling of checks in there. So yes, that is the pro forma that I use. Once you have that, you have your bank, you have your business formed, you have a bank account, and you have your ability to create invoices and estimates. The only difference between an invoice and an estimate is you change that to estimate, and you change the invoice number to estimate number or quote number. And then you have the ability to quote as well as to invoice. Just change the name of it. Simple as that. Once you have those three things, that's pretty much it for getting set prepared. Now, you're going to want to have a good plan for follow-up systems. Remember, on the webinar on Thursday, we're going to be showing you how to drive a pipeline of leads into this business so that you're constantly targeting new wholesale, new retail, new distribution partners for your brand so that you can just sell more in volume, which is a great way to sell supplements. So on Thursday on the webinar, sign up right now. Thursday, 2 p.m. EST, we're going to be going through how to build a pipeline for this business. A pipeline of leads that will never, ever dry up. It's constant. You can never stop because they're constantly turning over. Yeah? So that's Thursday. Make sure you register for that webinar. Super important. Tomorrow, I am going to be doing another video, much like this, kind of quick lesson on how to build a follow-up system ready for your pipeline of customers and how to manage that. That's going to be in tomorrow's, because once you have all this, once you have your lesson number one, you know, your goal in mind, your vision board, your targeting, what you want to achieve, that's number one. Once you have that, and once you have a business, a formed business and a bank account and a way to invoice people, the only other thing you need is leads and a way to follow up with them. Once you have those elements, you have everything you need to be able to supply into wholesale. There is nothing else that you require. Okay? This is not a complicated business at all. In many ways, it's way less complicated than having to sell online because there's no tech stuff at all to have to worry about. Or tiny bit of tech stuff. Okay? So that's going to be on tomorrow's. We're going to talk about how we... Yeah, sorry, I'm just checking my feeds here. I hope that is actually working okay. Tomorrow we are going to talk about how we build the follow-up system for wholesale and retail. And then make sure you sign up for that webinar on Thursday. Okay? Very, very important. I will see you there, guys. Speak soon. Bye.